Okay. We are back around the campfire. I told you it would be quick. All right, on to chapter 2. Now, the review of chapter 2. I'm going to do this one just the opposite. I'm going to start at the beginning of chapter 2 to review this because there's a couple of things that's extremely important that you want to know about. Flip on over now to page 16. Look starting at your line 13. Stats and rules important to real estate. These are some of the stats and rules that you need to be clear on, and that's why I wanted to start on here. For example, line 22, Florida Stats 20. This one established the structure of the executive branch of Florida government. So if it helps you out, guys, with your study, you might want to just put Florida Stats 20, and you can put beside there establish the executive branch of Florida government, okay? Underneath there, line 28, you have Florida Stats 475. This law is often called the Real Estate Professional Practice Act, created by Florida legislators' legal rights and responsibility of real estate licensees. This one you'll definitely see a lot because if you're in violation of one of the real estate laws, you may see that. You are in violation. Florida Stats 475. Well, what does that mean? You screwed up somewhere with 475, okay? So make sure that you're clear on that. Go on down to line 41. Part 3 of 475 is very important. This particular one, it gives brokers the lien right for earned commission. So in other words, to make sure that when you close your commercial deal that you get paid, this particular act, which is part 3 of 475, that's exactly what it does. It tells you this act applies only to commercial, not residential, and it's only on the owner's net proceeds, personal properties, okay? That's what it's looking at for there. Go on over to the next page, page 17, line 4. You have Florida Stats chapter 455. This one has to deal with the business and professional regulation, the DBPR. It defines their legal practice and procedures. You say, what is a DBPR? Which you will get, as you read into the chapter. It stands for Department of Business and Professional Regulation. If you have a business that you are going to need that license for in the state of Florida, you will have to send that application through the Department of Business and Regulation. From there, they will send it, once it's approved and everything, it will get sent off to its specific department. For us, it would be the DRE. Line 20, Florida Stats 120, that is the Administrative Proceed Act. Define the procedures process by which regulatory agencies decide and implement agents' action. 120 is for administrative procedures, and 61J2. Make sure you're clear on 61J2 is the rules of the Florida Real Estate Commissions. It is a set of administrative rules developed by the Florida Real Estate Commissioners. We call them, the book call them, you will see the acronym is FREC. They are our managers as real estate agents. So when the Florida Real Estate Commissioners create laws, they will be placed under 61J2, okay? Flip on over, guys, to page 18. Page 18 is talking about something that I kind of reviewed and you have already read in chapter 1, general license provision. The 3 categories of real estate license: your sales associate, your broker, and your broker associate. We went over that. Your broker works for someone compensation. Your sales associate under a broker or an owner developer, okay? Make sure you're clear on that. Here again, I know I'm going fast. I'm doing the review. You're doing the reading. If you have any questions, certainly call, text, or drive to the nearest Starbucks and ask me, okay? I'm just having fun with you. Anyhow, they have those separate. A broker associate is not the same thing as a broker. Yes, they both took the same test. Yes, they were both labeled as brokers at one point in time, but a broker associate may have decided no longer want to be the manager. I stepped down, and therefore they are working under a broker. At that point in time, they are a broker associate. Make sure you're clear on that. Line 26 talks about that owner developer as a sales associate. You must place that license under either a broker or an owner-developer, or you will be known as inactive. Owner-developer does not necessarily have to have a broker's license, yet they can pay you the commission that you deserve, okay? On page 19, they're talking about the fees. Guys, you know you have application fees that you have to pay when you turn in your application to go on to the next level to take that state test. Military veterans, lines 14, spouses, their fees are waived. And also it tells you the active fee for military veterans and their spouses who apply for real estate license within 60 months after honorable discharge from the armed force includes the Florida National Guards, okay? Underneath there, they're talking about fingerprint, which you already know what that is. That's part of your application process that you have to deal with. On page 20, you got your background check. Make sure you're clear on this for that application's sake, if nothing else. Line 1 through 4 tells you what you need to, what they're looking for concerning your background check. And it tells you that if you have any felonies, misdemeanor, traffic offenses other than, okay? I'm doing this because I actually had a student that they put all this on there and the book says other than, okay? Do not put parking, speeding, inspection, or traffic signal violations on your application. Down below is talking about if in the event you have an expungement, you better make sure it is expunged. Basically, that's something that you may have had covered up. Expungement is not automatic, so if there was some type of crime or something maybe that you had committed and you wanted that to not be revealed on your report, on your criminal report, you may have thought that it was expunged. You need to check with an attorney. It's not something that's automatically done. On page 21, they're talking about the time period, just in case you have errors and omission. You can request 30 days for notification for that to be cleared up. Exam eligibility after this application, that's what it's talking about. Your criminal background checks out, your application and everything checks out with the state. Now they can let you know if you are eligible to take the state exam. Over on page 22, line 1, non-resident application. That's fine if you're not a resident, but here's the deal. Line 2 tells you proof of U.S. citizenship is not required. However, you are going to need a social security number. There is no exception to the rule. Make sure you know that too. You need a social security number. Don't have to be a Florida residency, but you got to have that social security number. Rules pertaining to non-residency, line 5. So here's the deal. Get your license in the state of Florida. You are now a state of Florida licensee. You moved to Cali. Don't ask me why you would want to leave Florida to go to Cali. However, just a messenger, okay? Anyway, you have to, if you move out of the state of Florida, you have to give a 60-day notice, line 7. Make sure you remember. So here's the way that it helped me. If I'm moving out of the state of Florida, 60-day notice. If I'm moving within the state of Florida, 10-day notice. So you're going from, let's say, Orlando to Miami or Tampa, 10-day notice, okay? Mutual recognition down below that, very important, very much so that you need to know. Mutual recognition, here's the deal, guys. We have, the state of Florida has contract with certain other states that basically our education to get the licensing is pretty much the same. So because of that, we have education, we have contractual agreement with them. And to those states, the way that it works, let's just use Georgia. I'm using it for an example, okay? So let's just say Georgia is one of our mutual friends. We have contract with them. And you have broker Bob from Georgia, okay, who wants to get, now he lives in Georgia. He is a Georgia resident, but he wants to get a Florida license. And let's say Georgia is one of our mutual guys. The only thing that broker Bob would have to do, fill out an application just like you had to fill out an application. He has to do the fingerprint thing, and he has to take a 40-question law test. So he has to pass that test. Once he passed that test, he will be granted a Florida license. That process is called mutual recognition. You cannot be a resident of Florida to have mutual recognition. Basically what mutual recognition is doing, it is exempting you from the real estate class and exempting you from having to take the full test that we have to take at the testing center, okay? So that is only for non-Florida residency who are those states that are in mutual recognition with this contractual agreement. Over on page 23, reciprocity. In that entire gray box, make sure you're clear on it, okay? It's important. Reciprocity, there is none in the state of Florida, okay? So just because you have a license in the good old Nevada, okay, you can't go running over here to Florida and just buying and selling or doing the 8 services of real estate for compensation without just using your Nevada license. That's not how it works. That's an example of reciprocity. Not allowed in the state of Florida, okay? What is, down to the bottom on page 23, line 7-8, Florida residency defined. Once you have been here for a period of 4 calendar months or more within the preceding year, regardless of whether the person lived, let's just say, under I-4 on a motorbike with a P.O. box, okay? 4 months, 4 months, 4 months, Florida residency, okay? So if in the event, even this time goes so bad. So if in the event that, let's go back to Broker Bob from Georgia. Broker Bob comes to Florida and goes to live in Pensacola, okay? And he's there for 7 months. And now Broker Bob wants to now apply for his broker's license, state of Florida, using mutual recognition. Can he do that? Not if he's been here for over 4 months. Remember, this is so important for you to know. Mutual recognition is for our contractual states, for the agents that are not Florida residency, okay? That's kind of what you're looking at concerning that, all right? Now, because of the fact that I also want to finish out this chapter summary, going through the chapter, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break. We're going to come right back and jump right back into it because this chapter is very important. It's one that you need to know. I'll be back, guys. I need some time.